Now, God being God, isn't it interesting how the Lord would choose such a method by which to develop physically? God being God, he could have allowed himself to come to the earth fully grown. But he was born. But not only was he born, but he also grew. He followed the natural stages of development. He followed the process of maturation, the natural process of maturation. He just grew. And as he grew in certain ways. You know, every child, once again, as I said before, every child ought to just be able to just grow naturally. Because that's what children do. They just grow. They just grow. They just grow, and they grow naturally. They don't need the help of anyone to grow. They just grow naturally. And as they grow, they develop in certain areas of their lives. Jesus, as we look at the text, he grew and developed in wisdom, in spirit, and in the grace of God. He grew. Luke says the child grew. I think sometimes we forget about the fact that Jesus was born in such a way that he followed the natural stages of physical maturation. He just grew. And he grew up to become an adolescent. Isn't that something? Followed the natural stages of physical development. I'm going to settle down in a little bit and start preaching. I'm just getting a little settled. So he grew. He grew. He grew. But he grew in such a way that he caught the attention of others around him. And Luke was one of whom he caught the attention of. Luke says Jesus, he grew as a child. He followed the natural process of maturation, and he grew in spirit. He grew in wisdom, and he grew in favor with God. He grew. You know, when a child grows and as they develop, they really have no real sense of responsibility except to be obedient. That's their sense of responsibility, just to be obedient. They're not asked to pay bills. They're not asked to buy groceries. They're not asked to pay the mortgage. They are only required to be one thing, and that's obedient. That's all, Deacon Cannon. Just obey. Obey what? Obey the rules of the house. But then when, you're living in the house with your parents as you're growing up as a child and moving, shifting to the years of adolescence, those rules just seem to be so cumbersome. Oh, why do I have to do this? And why do I have to do that? And so therefore, the whole scope and notion of what obedience is really about is missed. But let me tell you what obedience does. Obedience is a protector of you. It allows you an opportunity to have more freedom without any real sense of responsibility. It's to help you, not to hurt you. So I have all the parents saying amen this morning. I never will forget the time when, I was talking to my son, my youngest son, Derek, and so he thought the home was just so awful, I guess, at one time, Brother Eric, and so he, carried a little attitude, which he was trying to defy the rules of the establishment, but we had to let him know that the rules were set and that they were not going to change.